Welcome to MicroCosmos. This week we're going to talk about mission control. My name is Pedro and I will be your host. So, they are the unsung heroes of space exploration, because they were a critical facet of every space mission that ever flew. Mission Control Center is the facility that space agencies use to manage all of the space missions. They play a very important role because they monitor spacecraft non-stop since the launch day until the end of the mission. Sometimes a different team controls the launch procedures, and after the rocket clears the launch tower, they pass responsibility to the other control room. The flight controllers are the ones that take action every time something goes wrong, whether the mission is manned or unmanned. They are all over the world. NASA's Mission Control Center is called Christopher C. Kraft Jr. Mission Control Center at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. The radio call sign is very famous and it's Houston. They manage all the manned missions and they have one of the major control rooms for the International Space Station. Also in the United States we have the Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, which manages most of the unmanned Earth observation missions, and others like the Hubble Space Telescope, MAVEN, and Solar Dynamics Observatory. Then on Pasadena, California, we have the Jet Propulsion Lab, or JPL, which manages most of the missions outside of Earth's orbit, like Cassini, Juno, which is arriving on Jupiter, and Curiosity. Then if we go to Europe, we have the European Space Operations Center, which is located in Darmstadt, Germany. It manages all of the unmanned ESA operations and third-party missions launched by Arianespace. Some of the current missions they are managing are Gaia, Rosetta or ExoMars. Then they have the Columbus Control Center, which is located in the German Aerospace Center near Munich in Germany, and they use to control the European Columbus Research Laboratory on board of the International Space Station. Then on Russia we have the RKA Mission Control Center, which is located in Korolov near Moscow. They manage the ISS, is the other major control room for the International Space Station, and they also manage all of the Soyuz and Progress flights. Then on Asia we have the Beijing Aerospace Command and Control Center, which is located of course in Beijing, China. It manages some missions like the Shenzhou and the Tiangong Space Station and the Chang'e 3 that's currently on the moon. We have the Tsukuba Space Center, which is located in the Tsukuba Science City, I love that name, in Japan. It manages all of the HTV flights to the International Space Station, and also they manage the Japanese research lab on board the ISS, which is Kibo. They keep a close eye on every ongoing space mission. For this, they use telemetry and issue commands using ground control and a relay of communication satellites. Normally, they have a team of flight controllers highly specialized in one area. They have specialist teams working in power, control system, propulsion, attitude, orbit operations. For manned missions, the flight controller teams are larger. They take care of life support, communications with the astronauts, EVA procedures, and so on. For the International Space Station, both Houston and Moscow mission controls command the space station. This way, the astronauts and cosmonauts are free to conduct the scientific research. We have quite a lot of notable moments involving the mission control centers, namely the Apollo 13 mission that after the explosion of the oxygen tank on board of the command module, the mission was aborted. The flight directors calculated the best trajectory for the spacecraft to return to Earth before all the supplies ran out. And since the LAM, the landing module, was made for 2 crew members only, they helped the crew inside to build air filters so the 3 of them could breathe inside the LAM. So they played a major role on bringing those astronauts back home. We also have the Rosetta mission. Here the flight controllers managed to land Philae on the Comet 67P. They had a 28-minute delay, so all of their orders to the spacecraft had to be very precise. And finally, during the Space Shuttle Discovery STS-31 mission, the astronauts were in charge of deploying Hubble Space Telescope. One of the solar panels didn't deploy. The flight controllers were working against time because the telescope was running on batteries, and when they die, the telescope dies. So, using a code they created, they managed to issue a command to make the solar panels deploy, and they saved the day basically, and Hubble has presented us many wonderful pictures from space. Alright, hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and also tune in to our CosmoCast podcast that airs on Fridays.